to the King James Virgin, where each and every week my friends Alan and Adam recount Bible stories from their childhoods to me. I've never heard them before, and my name is Nick.
My name is Alan.
My name is Adam.
I hate it.
You want to do it again?
You started it.
I did start it.
So this week we're back to the parables
Oh, Jesus.
of Jesus.
How many parables are there?
That's
Bad
a number
question.
that's a number we should know, but
I do not know that. It is, I'm going to say like 24.
Well, they're spread out
Yeah.
too, so it's not just like here's the chunk of
And some are
parables.
literally one sentence.
yeah,
wow.
I mean, it literally, it's just an object lesson of somebody going, I don't get what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
I think we literally said this on the exact, this said this thing.
Sure.
Wow. Can't speak English.
So we've done Good Samaritan and we've done Prodigal Son.
Correct.
That's it, right?
Very good.
Okay.
Correct. It's actually Jesus speaking in code to his followers so that his, like the Pharisees and the Romans,
Don't get it.
could interpret it different ways.
Yeah. It just feels like object lessons.
It's a dog whistling.
Sure.
I don't know. Is that a thing?
It feels like it's giving way too much credit to these stories.
Well, again, he didn't write any of these stories either. So
Everything is true. Everything
yeah.
is true.
Well, they are in red letters.
Well, there you go.
You remember that, Nick?
Yep.
All right. So you're learning.
That means Home Dog said it.
So what are we
Very
doing?
true. So we're doing two parables. The first one is the parable of the talents.
The talents?
Correct. So I chose these two parables because they illustrate different rewards.
Yeah.
Okay.
These are kind of both about the kingdom of heaven-ish.
Okay.
I mean, aren't they all?
Yeah. Although,
Heaven being the reward.
The reward.
yeah.
But one of these, Adam and I think I'll speak for Adam.
Yeah.
We didn't mind. Like is strong. Didn't mind growing up. And the other one, at least me, it upset me.
Okay.
Yeah. It's not fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, fairness is a construct, but it's really not fair.
Okay.
And that
bullshit.
one is, that's the,
And that's the workers in the vineyard. So we'll do that one second.
Okay.
So Adam.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, Nick, do you know about? Yeah, that
No,
feels like a
I
dumb
can't even
question.
come up with something for talent.
I was like, do you
like-
even remember the names that I just said?
Like he does some magic tricks or something, or like
that would be great.
holds his breath for a really long time in front of somebody.
So before
Yeah.
we start, I will say that this parable is sort of the birth of using the word talent to mean inability.
Okay.
Oh, I never actually put it because I was going from the other way around. You're right. That's totally what this is.
Because it's there's a phrase in the story that's according to his own ability.
Okay. And yet the vineyard thing, I only know about Noah being the first, I'm using air quotes, vineyard keeper.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is a story. So that's fake vineyard keepers.
Yeah. So in this case, there is a master. I think it's just called the master.
Yeah.
A master.
Classic Aesop thing.
Right?
Yep.
Or there's actually in two different books of the Bible. There's one in Matthew and one in Luke.
Oh, I didn't realize
it's
this was
like
a double.
a rich man or a ruler or a master.
Someone who's got servants is really, and not slaves, servants. These are people who are paid.
Okay.
There is a master and he has 3 servants and he is going away,
Traveling to a far off country.
traveling to a far off
I
country.
already know this one. They eat his figs while he's gone.
Yep. And they vomit the, yeah, it's like, it turns out this is actually just like, it's weird that actually this Aesop would have been before this. So yeah, Jesus just apes Aesop. Anyway, no, so the master's going away and he says to these 3 servants, and based on their ability, based on kind of their qualifications, he goes, I'm going to give the most qualified 10 talents of silver.
5 talents.
Is it 5?
Yeah.
I thought it was 1, 5, and 10.
It's 5.
Is it 1, 2, and 5 then?
5, 2, 1.
Okay. Yeah. Well, yes. Okay. So I'm going to give you 5 talents.
Okay.
Of
silver.
This is a talent is a unit of measurement, apparently.
Would you like to
Is
know?
it weight?
Yes, I would.
A talent was a unit of weight, approximately 80 pounds. When used as a unit of money,
Oh,
it was an equivalent weight of silver.
Adam's reaction.
Fuck.
As a unit
Yeah.
of currency, it's worth 6,000 denarii. A denarius.
That's a use-
Seems
Well, hold on.
like a lot.
A denarius was the usual unit of pay for 1 day's labor. So a talent.
6,000 days worth of labor is 1 talent. So this was
16
30,000.
years
Jesus.
of labor.
Wow.
That's not a small amount of
No, these servants had it good.
Well, so, and he basically said, I'm giving you this in trust with the expectation that you'll do something with it.
Oh, okay.
This isn't payment to you. This is like, I'm investing in you.
Sure.
So
there's a subtext that is like, do something for me.
Yeah, just, I'm gone.
Yeah, it's the original Shark Tank.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit. He's investing in them for himself.
Yeah.
So he gives to the most prominent, the most skilled, talented, whatever person, gives him 5 talents. The next person down the chain gets 2 talents, and then kind of his least qualified servant gets 1 talent,
Which is still
a shitload of money.
Yeah, totally.
apparently.
Yeah. So the master goes, and he's gone for a year.
I don't know.
Okay. I thought for some reason a year stuck in my head, but he's gone for long enough that they've had time to do something with this.
Okay.
And he comes back and basically lands on, so what'd you do?
Uh-huh.
And most talented, five talent guy goes like, I doubled the money. I went and basically did risky speculation and I doubled it.
Sure.
He doesn't get into the details.
Lots of people died.
He just doubled it.
Okay.
Is it not? Does he not?
No.
I
doubled
it, sir.
Because I thought there was like implications of him, the fact that he like did something. It doesn't matter. I thought that there was like speculation, like he actually was risky. In what he did
the
with
unit of time is a long time.
Oh, okay. A long time.
Yeah, after a long time.
After a long time, he's back.
That could be a translation thing, though.
Yeah, they're probably it very well could
Like
be.
1 year could be totally
time.
different translation.
So the second guy, he goes, "What did you do?" He also doubles it from 2 to 4.
Okay.
Which is not as impressive because it's not 10.
But
Right. This is the thing. It's like I'm always when this was told to us, they made it seem like this was not a big deal. That like, is that a lesser impressive thing?
That's in the like it's I doubled it but not as great as the first guy.
Oh, he's very proud of both.
Okay.
Oh, he is. Okay. See,
when
it was told to us, it was often told in this like kind of bullshit way that like somehow the second guy who doubled his talent pool was not as impressive because he didn't hit the 10 talents. So yeah, his seed money was
no
less than half.
Well, they both had 200% return.
Right.
But the second guy is actually the one who gets which you'll remember this.
This is a good and
Do
faithful.
you remember the line?
Is good and faithful servant.
Well done, good and faithful servant.
Yeah. My dad is fond of using that whenever like, and it's kind of anyway, whatever.
Though in a different version of the Bible, it says, well done, good and faithful slave.
Oh, well,
so
I might have been wrong about the slaves. Anyway, gets to the third person, and the third guy basically just gives back the 1 talent, and he goes like, "I was terrified of your wrath.
Well,
I did not want to disappoint you, so I buried the fucking talent in the ground, and now I just like unburied it and gave it back to you." And the master then just like flies off the hands. Like, had you just like put it in the bank so it would have accrued interest, something would have happened with it. But like the fact that you just did shit with it is bullshit, and dismisses him.
Well, so the guy says, "Lord, I knew you were a hard man, reaping where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seed." So he basically calls him an asshole.
sure.
And then he does
In a very sexual way.
He does fly off the handle. But now that I know that a talent is 80 pounds, burying it seems like a bigger deal.
Yeah,
I don't
Maybe. How dense is it? I mean, how big and dense are we
We do not
talking
know
about?
that. 80 pounds.
80 pounds of silver is like, it's still a chunk of silver.
80
Yes.
pounds is like like a 4th grader?
Yes.
I'm afraid I don't know my weights of
I was
children.
going to say a large dog.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. My dog's like 65.
And you've got a decent, medium, large dog.
Yeah, I've got like a fat pit bull.
So I'd say like a German Shepherd is probably around 80 pounds.
Yeah, a shorn German Shepherd.
Yes.
We'll say this.
There's like
this servant worked physically harder on this project than probably the other 2 did.
He probably needed a shovel.
At least.
Yeah, like not his hands.
Sure.
Well, if he was gone a long time.
Regardless, he does fuck all with the talent.
Okay.
Master's pissed, and then I think he fires him.
Well, he says, "You wicked and lazy servant.
Oof.
You knew I reap where I have not sown. I gather where I have not scattered seed. Blah blah blah. Like Adam said, you ought to have given it to the bankers, so I would have at least gotten interest. Although it must not be a millennial because we have fuck all interest now. Just saying.
Yeah.
He'd have to be gone a long time.
Right.
And so they,
Although he's like 80 pounds of silver, if that's what you said, it was how many days worth of 6,000 days?
16 years, 6,000 days.
I mean, that's would have even at like 0.1% interest would still be a reasonable return.
So the penalty is he took that guy's 1 talent.
gives it to the guy, gives it to the 10 talent guy.
Correct.
That's right. So yeah, he takes the one talent that he didn't invest, I guess, in the one guy, and he gives it to the guy who made the most money. Maybe that's where I'm getting the impression that the second guy was lesser because he didn't get a share.
He didn't get the extra. But then there's also, and cast the unprofitable servant into the outer darkness.
Yeah, there you go.
There will be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Ooh,
Yeah, so this is also a fantasy land where outside the city, it's like apparently eternal darkness.
Dark abyss.
But, and I don't know if does Jesus go on to explain the parable at this point? Usually,
Absolutely not.
so this is often there will be like the next couple of verses, it will be his disciples coming up to him, basically going like, "We don't get your thing," and he'll be right, and so he'll just go like, "Okay, well, this is what I was saying. This is this.
That happens early on.
And
This is like a later parable. Correct.
Got it.
And so that's just it. That's the parable.
Well,
This is the one that you like.
Well, so the interpretation, at least what we were given, is essentially you are given talents not as money, but actually as like you're talented. You have skills that you are born with or have a predisposition for. And some people are given more, some people are given less. And in the context of church, using them for the quote unquote kingdom of God, if you bury your talent and just not use it, you're basically an asshole.
Just stay status quo.
Right. You have a responsibility to take whatever's been given to you, as in whatever your natural innate ability is,
but
to use it.
I think what I liked about it was it was like risky behavior is okay. You know, it's not like safe investments. It's like you could lose it.
Yeah.
But
He'd rather you lose it all than not try.
Exactly.
Okay.
It was the lose it all than not try that I liked.
Agreed.
It just sounds like my grandfather telling me about money. I don't love it.
All right.
I mean,
And it'll be interesting to see how you feel about the second one then.
well, I mean, we're not saying that we still love this.
Right.
I actually still, I would say it's still within my ethos. Like, I still think that if you have a skill in something, that you have like a cosmic responsibility to develop it and not just let it be.
Sure. As long as you take out the for the kingdom of God element.
Of course.
Yeah.
It just seems like I don't understand the like leaping to this unit of currency or whatever is called a talent. So it's just making that an analog to innate ability for
you would be a disciple who had to ask Jesus what it was about.
And if I understood Alan correctly, this is actually where the term talent, as far as like talents, what we know of it today, came from, is from this.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So like it is analogous in the sense that it actually is derivative of.
Okay.
I mean, it's a fable, so you're supposed to make an interpretation. You're not supposed to take it literally.
Sure.
I didn't say it was great. It just exists.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now the one that pisses us off.
Great.
Number 2, another master has a vineyard.
Okay.
And apparently doesn't have any labor force at all.
He pulls up to the hardware store.
Yeah, pulls up to the hardware store at 6 a.m. And goes to the 5 people that are there. Hey, I'm paying $100. Do they actually give a number?
It's 1 denarius.
One denarius. Oh, got it.
Yeah.
So I'm paying a denarius for a day's work at my field. Here's the address. Check in with the foreman. Go work.
Hop in the truck.
Yeah. So, and he does.
Yeah.
He then goes back multiple times throughout the day and checks in at like 8 a.m. Goes and sees there's more, like 5 more people there.
Okay,
He's
wait, what was your first time?
like 6 a.m.
Okay, so 9 a.m., noon, 3 p.m., and 5 p.m.
These times are laid out in the Bible?
No, it's
Breakfast, lunch.
It's start 3 hours later, 6 hours later, 9 hours later, and 11 hours later.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah. Anyway, he goes basically periodically throughout the day back to the hardware store, or I think it's like center of town or something.
Just says went out.
Oh, so he's just like cruising around looking for stray people. And so he picks up all these different people, but each time he goes out, he says the same amount of money.
Okay.
Says like, I'm paying 1 denarius to work in my field for today.
Yep.
And so at the end of the day, all of these workers come to get paid after they've been, working in the field.
Working for variable amounts of time.
Correct.
In the field.
And they start doling out the payment. And the people who've been working since the early in the morning basically start getting pissed and going like, hey.
Well, he pays the people who've been working 1 hour first, and they get paid a day's wage.
This feels like this is a like I know I'm meta getting in here, but like if the guy really didn't want an issue, he probably should have started the reverse order, but sure.
Totally.
But yeah,
it's a fake guy.
Right. I know it's a fake guy. I'm just, and I get that it's an object lesson. I'm saying that like,
We're in like 2 levels deep of pretend here.
yeah, this is like, I'm on the second level of of Inception here. I'm like, I'm quibbling over the paint job on the car.
We're in a double, none of this is real.
Right.
If he didn't want complainers, he shouldn't have had a green Jeep.
Right. So, essentially the guys who worked all day are livid because they're like, we worked our asses off all day and we're getting paid the exact same amount as the guys who worked for an hour. And the owner's like, yeah, that's the deal we made. I made a deal with you at the beginning of the day and I made a deal with them at the end of the day, and tough is essentially the gist of it.
Yeah, you're not wrong. He said, did you not agree to work with me for a denarius?
Yeah.
Is it not lawful for me to do what I wish with my own things?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they grumble, take the money. That's the end of the story. There's not a like.
Correct. Jesus
then goes on to explain it
a little bit.
and essentially goes like, it doesn't matter when you're converted. Like everybody gets heaven, and there isn't a better heaven for people who have been faithful for their entire lives. There's not a better heaven for people who have been partially faithful for most of their lives versus people who like right before they die.
Do you remember the actual wording?
No.
You will. So the last will be first and the first will be last.
Oh yeah.
For many are called, but few are chosen.
Yeah.
And
yeah, I mean, I'm with Alan. This one pisses me off.
Again, if you believe in heaven,
I also like, I get that there's a binary, like the concept of heaven to me is easier for me. It's easier for me to accept the idea that like everybody gets heaven.
correct.
Like it's a binary thing. But when we're talking about
1 hour for a day's wage?
right.
Come on.
Okay, but think of it this way. Presumably, later in the day, it gets harder and harder to find people to work for you because everybody's already gotten hired up. He's realizing he needs more people, so he probably like has to kind of increase the amount that it's a sweet deal. He has to sweeten the deal for people.
Sure.
Possibly. I think one of the issues was we were basically told you have to accept this story. Like you can't be upset by this. Everyone gets heaven.
Right.
This is what it's saying.
Yeah. You children have shit luck in that you have to believe in it for the rest of your life, whereas some people don't.
Right. Yeah.
But
because and often it was like fairly or unfairly, it was put up against in like mentally for me, it was put up against like all these people get to have fun for their entire lives and at the last minute they get in.
Yeah.
Because like ideally that's the way you game the system. The way you game the system is you live a godless life.
Deathbed confession.
Right.
Or like deathbed repentance.
Yes.
Sure.
Like
it seems like a very Catholic thing, right? Isn't that their whole thing?
Yeah.
Just like
well,
you can do whatever and
100%.
then just
but
apologize.
Catholic is great because you can just get like check-ins. You can like, it's like you have save points. With Catholicism is brilliant because you just like check and go like
I would say
nope, clear.
I would say it's even better to have like a Mormon cousin. Because they can just get baptized for you.
Oh,
that's true. That is true.
It's great.
I got to find one of those.
To be fair,
No.
you're also in like some weird database somewhere, but there's this existential creepiness going on.
Yeah.
But no, it was troubling as a kid for me because I was like I got dealt a shit hand because I'm stuck. Like I'm stuck loving Jesus from day one.
Yeah. Well, your heathen friends like me at the time who were watching The Simpsons, you were just like, motherfucker.
Oh, we definitely weren't allowed to watch
I know.
Simpsons.
Yeah. Well, I'm sorry you have this trauma.
Well, now it's like I don't care
Yeah.
at all.
But I could tell that this parable totally still feels bad to you. Like both of your body language just like got real grumpy.
It's gross. I don't like it.
And you got to also project about the time period in your life when you're being told this.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
Think about like how you felt the first time you were told you need to share your toys. Like not, and like I can remember a couple of instances specifically where I purposely didn't bring toys out because it's like, I'm fine sharing my toys with it, but there's like a handful of them that I don't want people to fuck up. And so like these ones I don't bring out.
I do not have that memory.
Well, you don't have my parents either.
What toys were your keepers that you would not bring out?
I cannot remember what they were.
Damn it.
Maybe I just didn't have friends.
It was probably selections of Legos. My guess is like there was like certain sets of Legos that I didn't bring out.
You are the kind of person to keep like a set put together.
Yeah.
Yeah. See,
You guys should have been like me. No friends or siblings. I just got to play with all my shit whenever I wanted.
Didn't have a whole lot of choice in part of that. But no, like, and there was those things where and you were kind of required to bring them out regardless of the like quote unquote qualifications of the kid that was coming over. Like, no, like they're just they're a breaker. This kid's a breaker. I don't want them like playing with the things that break easily.
Yeah.
Anyway, in the context of that, like that's around the same time period that we were being told essentially like, yeah, you know that like how you felt around the toys, it really doesn't matter. Your fucking eternal soul is also playing that game.
Man, I would have really wanted to take apart your Lego sets.
Yeah, I just wouldn't have brought them out for you.
Yeah.
And to be fair, there's only like 3 that were ever fully put together and never like most of my Legos were just like
Pirate ship.
No, I didn't see. The 3 were put together were actual sets I had. Most of the time, my mom
like Robin Hood Fortress.
No, I didn't get nothing with weapons.
Okay.
Do you have the medieval Legos?
No weapons.
No, that's weapons.
Oh, do you have like a gas station or something?
Yeah, probably.
Rocket ship?
I do remember I had a what's the space shuttle? I had a space shuttle.
Oh,
those put together.
It's kind of just one big weapon.
See, for some reason, weapons were only okay if they were medieval. Like I had a lot of like medieval.
Yeah.
Like Playmobil and Lego, they were both like medieval. Not cowboys.
Right.
Like knights.
Yeah.
No swords, no guns in my mom's house.
Swords and crossbows, totally fine. Guns, not
Every
not
stick
okay.
became a sword or a crossbow as a kid, and my mom was like baffled by how that happened. We've kind of lost the thread of what this is, but like this is the as a kid, it really irritated me.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how long. Everyone gets Legos in the end.
Yeah. Well, and maybe that's why I feel good about this, because I know that I'm good.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta have you gotta get your language down for your deathbed confession.
Okay.
And fuck it, we're adults now. We can buy our own goddamn Legos.
Or we can't because of that stupid interest thing you brought recently.
Well, that's true.
Well, we'll be right back here on the King James Virgin. And we're back here on the King James Virgin. It's time for an Aesop abstinent.
Yes.
I'm so excited.
Do we remember what Aesop's life is like till this point?
Just
Apparently he's
puking
mute.
figs.
That was
mute.
the last one.
Well,
that was news to me.
that was news to me too. And an essential part of that story, this story involves him talking. So let's say he's fine now.
Huh.
He got over his muteness.
Yeah.
He had a bad case of muteness.
Mm-hmm.
I guess, yeah, I guess if you're writing history, you define it.
What if he had like tonsillitis?
Yeah, laryngitis.
The stuff was just really clogged up in that moment and he could not speak.
Or you're just being a real dick.
Or maybe he was doing, it was like an art piece, like he wasn't going to speak for a year or something.
Oh, is that thing where they sit across the table and they just both start crying?
Yeah.
So the master in this situation,
Always.
who has all of these servants or maybe slaves, probably slaves.
And figs.
And figs.
He's a big fig head.
After the fig debacle, he decides, you know what? Enough of this whole squad. I'm done. He lets all of them go except for 3.
The same 2 and
before.
and Aesop.
Agathopus is not mentioned.
Okay.
He keeps a musician, he keeps an orator, and Aesop.
Yeah, that tracks.
2 out of 3 good choices.
And he keeps those 3 because he thinks that he can actually fetch a good price for those 3.
Wait, so he just like, hold on. So he's not holding on to them to use. He's holding on to, like he's speculating on the price of people,
on human life.
So why didn't he just sell like, even if he got like a low bid, he just blew the rest of his.
I mean, Aesop is just a ugly little son of a bitch. Like,
maybe he's scrappy.
But the master knows that he's clever now.
Okay.
He's clever because he vomited. This isn't.
So he puts these 3 up for sale. People at the auction block are grossed out at the sight of Aesop. There's lots of commotion of like, oh, look at that guy, gross. Who would
he must have a
buy
great
him?
personality.
And now we enter Xanthus.
Is this a person or a place?
Person.
Okay.
Or a prescription drug.
Yeah, for like erectile dysfunction.
Xanthus and his crew. Xanthus is a well-known eminent philosopher of the time.
Didn't catch on,
I guess. And so he stops in. He's in the market for some humans. And he takes an interest in the musician and orator. And he asks them both what they can do. The musician says that he can do anything.
Oh, not just play music. I can do anything.
I can do anything.
All right.
The orator says that he can do everything. And when both of these guys say this, Aesop just kind of starts snickering. And the philosopher's crew asks him why he's snickering. And he says, why, if the question had been put by your master, I should have told him the reason of it. Like, Aesop's like, I'm not even fucking with your crew. I want to talk to the philosopher. So Xanthus is like getting outbid on these two guys. But the posse runs over to him and is like, oh, this guy just told us. Oh, my God, you should. Oh, so they get the philosopher Xanthus to approach Aesop and ask the same question, basically. So Xanthus asks what Aesop can do. And he says, nothing at all. He says, nothing at all. My companions undertake everything, and there's nothing left for me to do. And Xanthus replies, well, but if I should give money for you now, would you be good and honest? And Aesop says, I'll be that, whether you buy me or no. And then the philosopher says, aye, but tell me again, won't you run away? Aesop says, pray, did you ever hear of a bird in a cage that told his master he intended to make his escape?
God, what an asshole.
Yeah. Xanthus, this is just like this like snipey back and forth. Xanthus then says, but that unlucky shape of yours will set people a-hooting and gaping at you wherever you go.
That's accurate.
Aesop says, a philosopher should value a man for his mind, not for his body. So Xanthus at this point, I mean, this is a stimulating conversation for a philosopher. If you can just go toe to toe with the great Xanthus.
Yeah.
So he bids for Aesop, who has received no bids because he's disgusting.
Right.
So the merchant says, why, you has as good cheap in a dunghill, but if you'll bid me like a chapman for either of the other two, you shall have this phantom into the bargain. Very good, said the philosopher.
Wait,
and without any more ado,
hold on.
If you bid up the two good
you
dudes,
can get Aesop for free.
Yeah, we'll throw them in.
Yeah.
Got it.
So the philosopher basically asks what his selling price is. The merchant strikes him a good price and takes Aesop away with him.
Huh.
That's it?
That's just the story.
The
that's the history. So now Aesop is with Xanthus. Xanthus is an important figure in the life of Aesop.
Okay.
This is just like one of those Bible stories that I hate of like, okay.
Yeah. I know how you feel now.
Yeah.
Huh.
So Xanthus will come into play. It's time for a fable.
Wait, that wasn't the fable.
No, that's the part of his life.
Oh, okay. I was like trying to like figure out what the morality would be.
Nope, don't worry about it. It's just true facts of his life.
That just happened.
Buy two humans, get a worse human.
Mm-hmm.
Or I don't understand them. I don't really understand Aesop's bargaining system here. It's like he basically goes like, I'm worthless.
He's just kind of a snarky motherfucker.
Yeah, and like so Xanthus is like, I like this guy because he just like gives me lip,
but I don't want to spend anything on him.
Right. I mean, why would you?
They're just going to go back and be like two
chatty
college philosophy and religion majors and just like snipe at each other and like, but. Okay, here's the fable.
Just two dudes wearing fedoras.
Good luck with this one.
Oh, excellent.
This is the fable of a fox that lost his tail.
Okay.
Oh.
There was a fox taken in a trap that was glad to compound for his neck by leaving his tail behind him. It was so uncouth a sight for a fox to appear without a tail that the very thought on it made him even wary of his life. For 'twas a loss never to be repaired. But however, for the better countenance of the scandal, he got the master and wardens of the Foxes' Company to call a court of assistance, where he himself appeared, and made alerted discourse upon the trouble, the uselessness, and the indecency of foxes wearing tails. He had no sooner sayed out his say, but he rises a cunning snap than at the board, who desired to be informed whether the worthy member that moved against the wearing of tails gave his advice for the advantage of those that had tails, or to palliate the deformity and disgrace of those that had none. What is the moral?
If you can argue away a valuable thing, you'll come out on top? Like the whole thing is like the fox basically convinced everybody that they were all the assholes for having tails, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So just be good at talking.
The master and wardens of the Foxes Company.
Which
Right.
is a thing.
I do like that. I do like that there's apparently.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
Do the people speak fox or does the fox speak people?
I'm under the impression that it's a
kingdom
council of
foxes.
foxes.
Oh.
Yeah. No, I'm
I
100
assumed the warden was human.
Yeah, no, this is like we're in a high fantasy situation.
Got it.
This is Captain Fox presiding over the foxes.
Which in some way, as opposed to any of the fables that we've done to this point, this one does like kind of create its own universe for a moment.
We're in a little like a. You don't want. Apparently, you don't want to whistle that closely to a mic.
Yeah.
You can cut that how you need to.
I don't know the reference, so.
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Oh, that's okay.
Here's the real moral.
What the cuss are you talking about?
When a man has any notable defect or infirmity about him, whether by nature or by chance, 'tis the best of his play to try the humor if he turn it into a fashion.
That's not humor. He fucking shamed everybody else for having tails.
But it kind of goes with the life story.
Oh, no, for sure.
It does.
No, I get I get what he's doing, but he wasn't making fun of himself. He was literally convincing an entire assembly of foxes that they were the assholes for having tails.
Yes.
No, fuck tailless fox. I mean, no, I get that he's been like disabled, which that puts me in a bad light now. But no, just because people have tails doesn't mean that they should be shamed for having tails.
Well, should this episode, should this Aesop appear in the parable episode, I feel like it's a fitting companion to the second parable.
Yeah.
Sure. It's just 3 okay stories.
Yeah.
They exist.
We've done it.
I enjoy the story for story's sake, but Mr. Tailless Fox can fuck off.
I mean, I want to see like the courtroom scene with just a bunch of foxes.
Okay, in your guys' head, is it in like
That's
an underground den?
Obviously, under a tree.
Yeah.
I have like a mouse guard type of
So in my brain,
Red Wall-y
it's like
situation.
It's halfway between the BBC Lion the Witch and the Wardrobe and the Fantastic Mr. Fox. Like that's the aesthetic that I've got.
It's not animated though.
No, it's stop motion or like people in costumes.
It's definitely stop motion.
Ooh, people in costumes.
Yeah,
that does change.
You guys have seen the BBC Narnia Chronicles, right?
Oh yeah,
like with the Aslan that like.
Nope.
Okay, it's amazing. The puppet they have for Aslan is literally just like a stuffed lion, and his paws like go up and down, and he breathes.
Nick, do you know who Aslan is?
Nope.
Oh, well, that was
Oh.
useless.
All right.
I mean, I know that it's the character from the lion.
All right, we'll have the C.S. Lewis version.
Yeah.
Another spinoff.
Great.
Spoiler alert, it's an allegory.
He's Jesus.
Oh. Well.
Hey, thank you so much for listening. You can follow us at KJVPod on both Twitter and Instagram. And it's been a while since we've asked you to leave a review. So after this episode, please go to Apple Podcasts, formerly iTunes, leave a review with your favorite quote from the show, and we'll choose one and shout you out on our next episode. Thanks to Mascaras and Resurrection Records for the use of our theme song, Kixari, off the album El Moran. This week's Resurrection Records artist is Obsessions. It's a new fragrance as well as a band. You can find links to these songs, stickers we have for sale, and show notes on our website, kingjamesvirgin.com.
That'll do it for us this week. Until next week, buy low, sell high, or just bury all your money. Either way, you're going to heaven, much to Adam and Alan's chagrin.
by Sonic Bazaar.